sassy, a little bit crazy, a little bit classy. We got dreams and we got goals. We're just a couple of old sassholes.
Hello.
Hi.
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 How are you?
I am freaking out.
Yeah?
I am just fucking frazzle, razzle, dazzled. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah. Here for what?
Oh, that's always great. Hi, everyone. Welcome to A Couple of Sassholes podcast. I'm Brooklyn Maple.
And I am Heather Terry.
And once more, it's our power hour of true crime, crazy, fucked up shit with some fucked up people. Sometimes they're hot, sometimes they're not.
Sometimes they're not.
So, more.
Not.
I don't know. We pick a lot of hot people to talk about.
Like, yeah.
You know?
You just use any excuse to make that noise because it's my favorite.
Who knows?
Who does know?
You know what I do know?
What?
That it's 7 a.m.
Yes. If you couldn't tell from my Tracy Chapman, raspy Macy Gray, Tony Braxton-esque.
If you're getting horny because of Heather's sultry
Not
voice.
because we're on video.
I don't know. What is there? There's an ass for every chair.
Yes.
Anyway.
That's what I say.
So It's super early because me and Heather took off today so that we could have our fall fun day.
Yeah.
So we are going to be going shopping and we're going to be eating crab legs and we're going to be doing a movie marathon.
Oh my gosh.
And we're carving pumpkins.
Yeah.
And then what else are we doing? Are we making sweatshirts?
Making shirts.
Yeah, crafts.
Crafts.
It's like the math and facts. It's the crafts and fun.
Crafts and claws.
Yeah.
That's my future.
Yeah. Yes.
Two kinds of claws. Speaking of which, we need to go to the liquor store.
Okay.
Yes.
Heather's also wearing a shirt that has crabs on it. It says, I'm into fitness crab in my mouth.
Yeah, and we're going to the gym after this, so
Yeah.
double meaning again. I'm struggling through this. Like,
Heather's like, it's 7 and I'm like, it's 7 o'clock.
That's a difference between
Let's
us.
go.
We may be best friends, but we are definitely opposites.
Yes, because I'm freaking out with enthusiasm. There's nothing I love more than waking up and getting after a good time.
Sure.
That's exactly how I feel about it.
Well, I'm glad that you do.
Thank you. And then what are we talking about? So this episode is going to go down in Chinatown right after Halloween. We're actually recording on Halloween this year.
Yes, we are.
We sure are.
Yeah, surprise.
I know.
We have ahead.
We have some time off to burn, and we're burning it like a fucking spliff.
That PTO.
Yeah. And so we're off on Halloween. We're going to have a delicious lunch, and we're going to record our podcast.
Yeah. I mean, we're kind of fun. We were talking about this yesterday. We're kind of annoyingly fun. So, sorry, not really sorry, though.
I mean, when you're in your mid to late 30s and you have, because I am now too. You know what I'm saying?
You do have to check a different box.
I do. Fuck that. Fuck that. Fuck you for saying that.
I had to do 35 to 40, so you're still in my realm too.
Yeah, I was like, I feel like I'm anyway. Yeah, whenever you don't have kids and you have disposable incomes, it's just, and you want all the same. I think that's the thing too, is like, I understand that we don't have kids and that, feel however you want to feel about us being the age that we are, choosing not to have children. But like, we still get to do all of the fun things.
We do. And
all
it's
of it.
Cheaper, and we can be buzzed up if we want to.
Yeah. And like, if you, like, we've nieces and nephews, you get to experience it through them too. And you still get to be buzzed up. And it's a good time.
Yeah. It's a good time to be alive.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
Barely alive, but I am.
Fun fact, just because because Heather's on a solo one today, I was like, Heather can't be solo without me providing my razzmatazz.
She's got to give him the old razzle dazzle.
Oh, razzle dazzle. And it's why do we bob for the apples? I'm literally on all recipes right now.
Why do we bob for the apples?
Well, Heather, bobbing for apples originated in Europe hundreds of years ago. Then it had to do with romance of all things.
What?
You see, the game was part of a courting ritual and was a popular way to bring young lovers together and help them determine if they were soulmates or not. One of the most popular ways it was played was for each apple in the container to represent a special someone. Each girl would then bob for an apple and try to bite into that one that belonged to her crush. If she was able to successfully get it on her first try, that meant that the stars were aligned and they were destined to be together. However, if it took the woman 2 attempts to get the apple, that was an indication that they would need to court for a while, but their relationship would eventually fade. It wasn't meant for the long haul. And if it took 3 or more shots to bite at her crush's apple, it sadly meant that her crush wasn't the right person for her and she shouldn't try to pursue a relationship with him.
Wait, so if everyone's like, oh my God, Billy's so hot. Like, I was thinking about Scream yesterday. So, like,
oh my God, yes.
Yeah. So they're like, Billy's so hot. All these bitches are going to bob for Billy.
No, it's
not
that.
Like the apple, but it's assigned to a person. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So there's an apple in there, and it's like here's Billy's apple, John's apple, Tucker's apple.
But what if you don't like Tucker and he's like busted and a creep, and then you're like, fuck, I got fucking like you can't.
Well,
see
you're aiming for the one that you want. Your eyes aren't closed.
If you go underwater.
You don't really go under. You know which one you're aiming for.
Yeah.
You know which apple that you're going for. You're going for your crush's apple. So you're going for Bobby's apple. And if you can't get it, then it's like, you ain't supposed to be with Bobby. It's not necessarily then that you just try to get a rando's apple.
Yeah. See, I'm a pessimistic bobber, I guess.
You are.
Because I would get some creepy dude that smelled weird and nobody went.
Well, I don't know why you'd aim for him.
I wouldn't aim. I would like shut my eyes.
I would do everything in my entire power to get my crush's apple. It's just how many times it takes you to try to get your crush's apple. Feel me?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
Good thing we're not doing that anymore. I'm not trying to fucking get my face all wet, fuck up my mascara. Fuck that.
What did they use for mascara back then anyway? They're like
batshit.
Batshit, was it?
I think that was one thing. Yeah.
I'd rather just go lashless than have shit.
I don't know. I'd put shit on my eyelashes if I had to. There's one thing I ain't walking out of the house on with its mascara. Just saying. I am so excited, for you to tell me the story.
Yes.
Heather has given the longest foreplay on this ever since she put more than the tip in to the story.
I'm like, please emphasize
She has been telling me, she'll just walk into my office and be like, this story's crazy, and then walk away.
Yeah.
And she's been doing it 800 times.
I had to fart in the elevator because it is crazy.
You've had diarrhea in the elevator. You've had walking farts in the elevator.
Why do I feel like that's what Jordan's going to pick for the name of the episode, diarrhea in the
or
elevator.
Walking farts. Gotta love it.
We've had snail jizz as an episode title, so.
Oh, and I now have that snail jizz.
Me too.
And I use it. Do you like it?
I haven't tried it yet.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a thicker serum for anyone who's used. Firstly, I read it and it really fucked with me because I'm having a hard time understanding that I'm putting snail jizz directly onto my face.
Right, exactly.
Or not their jizz, their mucus, which is not any better. There's nothing better about that.
I'm not going to
And it's thick. And that's what sucks. Is like when you're using it, you're like, this feels like snail mucus.
Oh, man.
It's a thicker one than like some of the others I've liked. So it's like more of a nighttime serum for anyone who is curious about my nightly rituals.
We get tons of emails about that. So they ask us if we would actually talk about that and not the true crime stories anymore. They're like, can you please tell us what she does before bed? And I'm like, I can't, guys. There's killing stories to talk about.
Yeah, so give me this story.
Are you ready?
Mama's so ready.
Okay, great. I'm just going to tell you the sources and then we're just going to go. Okay, Dickopedia. Did you see where Elon Musk said he would pay $1 million and buy Wikipedia if they changed it to Dickopedia?
That's unbelievable. I did see that because you sent it to me.
Money. That's anyway. I'm not. He's an idiot, but like that's kind of funny.
It is kind of funny.
I mean, if you have $1 billion to blow out your ass, blow it out your ass. On Dickopedia.
I mean, at the end of the day, it needs to be paid for. Wikipedia, they're always asking for the money, so it's like,
Well, some idiot's going to give it to them. Okay. Ranker.com, The Daily Star, CrimeLibrary.org, and the podcast Murder in America. So here we do go. I'm not going to give you any hints about the story. I'm just going to tell you about the victim's upbringing. Then we're going to unpack this big-ass suitcase. Now, trigger warning for literally everything. I think there's nothing in here that's not touched upon, including them. So,
all right.
We're just going to...
I'm going to buckle the fuck up.
Yeah. Kids, turn this off. Thanks. Okay. And then tell your mom that you're listening to a terrible profanity podcast. We're not terrible. Just some of the stuff we talk about.
I was like, we're a wonderfully explicit.
Also a new journey for me because I'm on my laptop like an adult. So
yeah, that's what happens when printers are being weird.
Not be printing.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm in it. I'm shushing.
Sharon Lopatka.
I know. I don't know anything about that.
I was about to be devastated.
Oh my God, you literally just looked at me and I was like, no, I was just kidding. I've never.
Wow.
Sorry.
Popped my balloon 2
I know.
seconds
I'm
after
so
I got it from the vendor.
I'm so spicy. Sorry.
Fucking bitch. All right, here we go. Sharon Lopatka was born on a great day, September 20th.
That was birthday.
1961, and to an extremely religious family. Her parents' names were only listed everywhere for the most part as Abraham J. Denberg. Her dad, they were like extremely Orthodox Jewish. So like
the curly bangs, or the curly.
Okay. Her dad was a cantor, which apparently means he sings at their synagogue and leads prayer. So obviously super religious at home too. She had 3 younger sisters, and they were members of the Beth Tefillo, I think it is, congregation. And this is a modern Orthodox Jewish group. It has about 3,500 members, and the synagogue seats 1,600. So I don't know if, like, what do you get on Ticketmaster to go to church or what? Like, that's not enough seats. What do they do?
I don't know. I'm going to assume you don't go every single time.
Louder. Like
they have the standing lounge.
The lounge.
I don't know. I don't know how that works. I don't know, man. Churches be doing some fancy shit.
Churches be churching. Now, the Orthodox Jewish religion is typically pretty strict, but it varies. I'm not a religious scholar, obviously, but basically think the women are covered. They don't wear pants. Knees and elbows are naughty, that sort of thing.
Knees and elbows are naughty?
Knees and elbows are naughty. Say it.
Naughty. Wow. Okay. This sounds like a party I don't want to be a part of.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to.
Because my knees are fucking hot. God, I don't know. I'm just playing my supporting role today.
Yeah,
I'm the gravy to your taters, girl.
Oh my! I want you to write that in my Valentine's Day card. Thanks. Okay, the modern one tries to be more liberal and give women a bigger role in life based on the whole 28 seconds of research that I did on the subject, because I was like, it's not a big part of the story. Sharon grew up in Baltimore, Maryland, and everyone said she was literally about as normal as you could get. She played sports, she was in choir clubs, she was a library aide, and she graduated from Pikesville High School in 1979. She met a construction worker named Victor Lopatka, and who was Catholic, and her family was like, no, he's not Jewish. What the fuck are you doing? That's not a quote.
I could not imagine religion being like it's so hard to fall in love with somebody, let alone to not be able to pursue that relationship based off of religion.
And they were ashamed and embarrassed. She was like, well, cool, I'm going anyway. I do what I want. And in 1991, she married Catholic Victor. One of her friends was quoted saying that this was a way to break away from her parents. And I mean, if knees and elbows are naughty, I think I would want to bust out a paddle there too.
Yeah, I'd be breaking away. Like those pants that show your knees. Breakaway pants. Tearaways.
Risque. Sharon moved with Vicar to Hampstead, Maryland, and her parents cut off all contact with her, and they never spoke to her again after that. She was a homebody, so much so that her neighbors said they barely saw her leave the house. She decided to be ahead of her time and figure out a way to make money at home. So she was like an OG remote worker. And before that was even really a thing, because the internet came out in 94.
Wow. So she was an Avon lady.
She was like, I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to stay home. And you would, once I get talking, you're going to wish she was an Avon lady.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I was like, I can't wait to hear your comments on this, because it just keeps unfolding and you're like, what the fuck? She started building websites and operating several online businesses, including her first website, which was called House of Dion. They sold home decor catalogs with her and her friend for $7 a piece. They were decorating their house, and she's like, I've never seen one of these, and we should share this with people. And then they started selling those. The copy on her website read, home decorating secrets seen in the posh homes from the New England states to the Hollywood homes can now be yours. Never published before. Quick, easy ways to decorate your home. I'm going to read a lot of ads. That's one of them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Another one was called The Land of Dion, which was a psychic and spiritual advice page. Now, she also ran one called Classified Concepts, and she rewrote ad copy for other businesses for like $50 an ad.
Okay.
Yeah. So she's doing it.
She's doing things.
She also caught on quick to the clickbait game very early, and she ran a bunch of scam websites. They were pretty dicey. Now, one sold love potions to heartbroken teenagers. Now, the ones that were the most nutso bizarro were the ones that she marked a service under the name of Nancy Carlson. Now, I'm going to read you what the ad said instead of tell you what she was selling. Are you ready?
Ready.
God, this is going to make me so uncomfortable. The ad said, "Hi, my name is Nancy. I just made a VHS video of actual women willing and unwilling to be knocked out, drugged, under hypnosis, and chloroformed. Never before has a film like this been made that shows the real beauty of sleeping victim.
Huh. Okay. Well, we just turned left.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yes. As you say, we did a 360.
Eat my shorts.
So basically, she was advertising nasty smut like that on the dark web, which back then it was just the internet. It was just the radio. Yeah. So they never found evidence, thankfully, that she made these tapes in real life, but she sure as hell was taking their money. Because, I mean, what are they going to call the cops? Be like, hey, I wanted to see somebody getting knocked out and raped.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So Homegirl also loved to catfish and play games with people like this online all the time. Another online persona that she came up with was a 300-pound disciplinarian dominatrix who was slinging her cat around, offering to physically crush men like bugs. This is known as crush fetishism.
Yeah, Sally.
Yeah.
Do you remember the bodybuilder Sally who killed her husband?
Yes.
Yeah.
Now,
I'm like, I know everything about this. I'm well versed.
You ever seen my website?
Yeah. It's called Brooklyn Crushes.
Now, we always say, like, we don't kink shame. We don't.
Never.
Do your thing. But it just keeps getting worse.
Great.
Yeah. FYI, crush fetishism, that's a hard word to say, videos are now illegal in the U.S. and the U.K. because too many online freaks were making, like, sick videos of them stomping, like, puppies and animals to death. So they're illegal now.
Okay, I don't want to talk about it now.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about any of that. So I'm just throwing that.
Thanks for the piece of fact.
That is a fact.
Good to know that it's illegal. I'll take my website down.
Right. Now that we have another online persona named Miranda. Miranda was 5'6", 121 pounds. They said she was a svelte woman. And guess what Sharon was using this one to sell?
What?
She went Orange is the New Black and she was selling her dirty drawers.
Okay, good for her. That's an easy one.
Yeah.
That's a low-hanging fruit. I get that.
That's a low-hanging fruit of the loom.
No.
I'll see myself out.
Please.
Please don't turn this off. Okay.
Because of Heather.
Yeah, because of me. I'll
Stay on for me.
Okay, that ad said, I am 25, blonde, have green eyes, am 5'6", and weigh 121 pounds. Is anyone out there interested in buying my worn panties? God, I hate that word. This is not a joke or a wacky internet scam. I am very serious about this, and if you're serious too, you can email me.
This chick's a innovative entrepreneur.
So Sharon was roaming around forums and websites and posting her ads for all this shit. And she made a ton of profiles on websites that featured like wild stuff. So necrophilia, bondage, sadomasochism, like basically getting your rocks off by pain, humiliation, and suffering to yourself and others. One of the ads read, let me customize your most exciting bondage fantasy for you on VHS to watch and enjoy privately in the comfort of your own home. Prices start at $100. Now, all her profiles had different sexual preferences, like looks, skills, very detailed catfisher. In addition to making money, her ultimate goal and sexual fantasy was self-destruction. She started venturing out into the new world of the internet, looking in sites that catered to her very specific sexual desires. And that's when it was like no regulation. You could do whatever you want online.
Yeah, because they didn't know to regulate it yet.
Yeah, they didn't know what the fuck. They were like, oh, this is cool, and then just ran. And this is about the time when her quote-unquote normal self started to fade away. And again, I'm not going to yuck anyone's fuck. Like, do what you want. But as long as it's consensual, and I don't feel like it needs to go this far as it goes. Sharon posted under an alias on a forum for cannibalism and was searching for a feeder. Do you know what that means?
Fuck. I am so worried about where we're going in this fucking story right now. Oh my God. Okay.
Do you know what that means?
Is that where somebody will allow you to eat them?
A
or
feeder is someone who agrees to force feed you until you reach your desired goal weight.
You've told me about this before. You made me watch a show about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God, guys.
Yeah. Oh, it gets worse.
I know.
So,
and now I'm worried about, okay.
Okay. I even put notes in here to when I was like, she's going to say something here.
I'm internalizing a lot.
Yeah. Okay. So Sharon's goal weight was 500 pounds. And at the time, she was 189 pounds.
Okay. So she was a healthy weight and wants to become. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
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 Now that ad said, okay.
Wait, is this is real? Like she really wanted this or this was one of her scams?
This was real.
Okay,
her fantasies and her scams of intertwined, and they kept escalating.
Because now she's getting like real kinky. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. That ad said, I am not interested in email correspondence or a phone feeding. What I would really like is the real thing. I am willing to be force-fed to meet my goal if necessary. I am also willing to relocate if that's what it takes to find the right feeder. I am hoping someone out there will help me out and share in the most erotic experience of their life. I don't want to break up any marriages, so if you're married, please don't respond to this post. Here's the kicker.
Oh, there's a different kicker.
She's still fucking married this whole time.
Right.
This whole time. Her husband, no clue. None. Not one clue.
So she just wants people to like shove marshmallows in her mouth privately?
Yeah. And she's like, I don't want to break up any marriages. What the fuck are you doing?
Maybe it's erotic maybe they have a hard on when they're feeding her food.
I don't know.
I don't either. I don't understand.
This whole thing I don't get. I don't understand any of it.
I don't know. It's a mouth thing. Anything with the mouth is real freaking naughty.
Now, once Sharon hits her goal weight, the feeder gets to eat her until she dies. Like fully consumed into her literal death. Like that's what she wants.
That's what I thought it was. Okay, so
yeah.
Pump them brakes.
Sometimes they don't want to be eaten and sometimes they do.
Okay, so she wants to hit 500 pounds. She's a turkey.
Yes.
She would like to become her goal weight of a 20-pound turkey. And then on Thanksgiving, she would like to be carved up and eaten.
Oh, my God.
And trying to make sure this turkey makes sense. Is that what I'm picking up?
You're picking up the...
She'd be butterballing.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, is in the document like how she's going to die, or will she just die from the diabetes that she's probably getting from being married?
She wants to be... We'll get there.
Okay. This is...
Yeah. Now, she did all this behind Victor's back, and from what I read, their marriage wasn't picture perfect, but there wasn't like abuse, and she didn't ask him to feed her little Debbie's until she died. So she just did it online, and since she worked from her computer,
he was Catholic, so he probably wouldn't have been into that.
But like he didn't know she was always on her computer, but he just thought she was working. So
the fuck.
Recap. She's secretly slinging her cat around online, all these fetish chat rooms and forums.
They're foraging.
Yeah. And she just kept escalating. Now, she goes from library aide and high school choir to wanting someone to literally eat her after they torture her. I don't think
that's her being tortured. That's not, she said super erotic. That's not torture to her. That's an orgasm. Mm-hmm. This is weird. Okay, let's keep going.
It's real weird. Okay, there was a sex right activist named Tannen Tier, and she used to go on these sex websites looking for people trying to help them, like, have healthy fantasies and stuff because no one was regulating anything else. She was open to all of it, but she was like, no one needs to get, like, hurt or killed. So Tannen came across Sharon's posts on all these. She kept seeing her name and about wanting to be tortured and murdered, and decided... Oh. Mm-hmm. And
okay,
yeah,
what is happening?
Yeah,
okay,
I told you I was going to come in hard and fast. At 7 a.m. Tannen, the rights activist, starts emailing Sharon to try to help her change her mind. She tried to explain the difference between fantasy and reality. Sharon ignored her for the most part, but finally answered her once and was like, "I want to surrender completely. I want to die." Yes. In August of 1996, Sharon went into a necrophiliac chat room and said, quote, "Want to talk about torturing to death? I have a kind of fascination with torturing until death, but of course I can't speak about it with my family." The look that Brooklyn's giving me right now is just blank. Like, what?
If I can't ask Travis to torture me, who can I ask, you know?
I mean, right.
My gosh.
She got several bites on that one, but the dudes all backed out when they were like, oh, she means it. Like, they just thought, oh, we'll just play online. I'll talk to you about this. And then they were like, oh,
but I'm not going to actually,
Yeah. The bondage community as a whole, however, they were pissed off at her. And,
I'm sure.
And Sharon and her ways. They were just in there, like, trying to get their kink on and didn't want to be associated with what she was selling.
People who do so, like, bondage, like, there's a true level of, like, respect and planning and, like, a safety layer in there. Because if you're being bonded, like, someone is preventing you from escaping or moving, there has to be a level of like trust.
Yeah, that's
and
what they were talking about it, and they went in, like, from what I read, there's a whole lot on that side of it too that they were pissed about, because they're like, she's gonna make because nobody really knew, because there wasn't a place for people to talk about it except for like privately before the internet. So when they would go talk about all this stuff and everything, they got mad because it would look bad for her. In August of 1996, Sharon met a man in one of her chat rooms who went by the screen name Slow Hand, and that is Robert Bobby Frederick Glass.
Robert Bobby?
Well, he goes by Bobby. I was just saying his full name.
I know, but Robert Bobby? Okay.
Robbie Bobby. Bobby's profile said that he was into inflicting pain during sex, and Sharon was still on her torture brigade. And when she saw Slow Hand, she became infatuated, and sexually, they seemed like a perfect match to her. Now, let's talk about Slow Hand a little bit, and I'm going to keep saying it over because of the Harry Styles song. So.
It's Slow Hands. That was Neil.
Oh, one of the Directioners.
He's not from there.
What? Liam? Which one was it?
Neil.
Niall.
Niall. He was?
Mm-hmm.
Niall. I love that song. Raining. Okay, let's go. I'll stop.
That'll be in everybody's head. Bobby Slowhand was a 45-year-old computer analyst who worked for the government in North Carolina. He was said to be a great employee, introverted, but he had a lot of friends and had a well-known family. His dad was apparently loaded and did a ton of good things for their small town, so the Glass family was very prominent.
Oh.
He was a father of 3 and had been previously married for 14 years to his wife, Sherry. I think her name's Sherry Glass. Sherry... Sherry said that Bobby was always on his computer and not with his family very much at all when he gets home. Duh. Like she said, he loved his hard drive more than his marriage and his family. Mm. That's also back in the day when people would say, like, I'm going to go get on the computer.
Yeah, and you had to be in a whole different room.
Yeah, and it was a big, like, wooden, like, desk, big, chunky, oaky looking desk. Yeah, and then he did computers for his job too, so it didn't seem very weird at all. And that got old, and Sherry was like, dude, he's doing something on the internet because he's on there way too fucking much. And she confronted him because it was becoming an obsession. She was waking him up for work. He was staying up all night. And she snooped around on his computer because he thought she was too dumb to figure it out.
Yeah.
And found a shit ton of emails that were very violent and disturbing to women under different screen names. And another screen name that he went by was Toy Man.
Huh.
Mm-hmm. Sherry confronted him and kicked him out and filed for divorce, but Bobby was actually happy about that because he had more time for Sharon, who was going by Nancy Carlson. Bobby saw one of her ads asking to talk about torturing to death and wrote her a message, and then they immediately hit it off. And they talked for like weeks and sent over 900 graphic emails, and when they printed it, it was 870 pages of filth with a sad ending. Sharon was practically begging Bobby to strangle her, and he would respond to how he was going to torture and kill her. Yeah.
I bet this is hot. This sounds real hot.
Something. They were.
I mean, if you're not going to do it, if it's just like erotic.
Like they're just playing a role.
Yes. If it's an erotic reading session. You know what I mean? Like.
Yeah. These emails are so bad that they've never been released to the public. Like, I looked. They're everywhere. Police reports with they're not public. And then everybody was saying on the YouTube videos, too, that they're not public. Mm-hmm. Now, cut to October 13th, 1996. Sharon is like, hey, Victor, like her husband, who still had no idea, I'm going to go to Georgia. I have some friends that I'm going to go visit. So I'll see you in a few days. Kissed him. He said, have a great time.
Yeah.
And she left. He had no idea that would be the last time he ever saw her. Sharon drove to the train station and hopped on a train to Charlotte, North Carolina. Bobby picked her up around 9 p.m. that night and drove 80 miles to Caldwell County where he lived. Now, his trailer was a bachelor pad, and it was definitely a pigsty. So, like...
It was a trailer. Mm-hmm. And it was a pigsty.
Yeah. Thanks.
So, I'm
gonna set the scene. You're going to be real grossed out. Like this whole thing has been blah anyway. Okay, think rusty cars on the lawn, toys and garbage outside. It's on the outside. Then it looked abandoned. Inside was a shit show too. So trash, dishes, like borderline hoarder show. And,
nasty. I know exactly what you're talking about because we live in fucking Owensboro, Kentucky. Drive out further and you're going to find that in any of the counties, you know?
Yeah, it pops up.
Yeah.
Pops up on you. And he he had 4 puppies that lived there too. So it's just, I did that for smell. Like, if he didn't pick up his trash, you know what I mean? Blech. Anyway, gross. So what happened from October 13th to October 16th in 1996 is literally unknown. Like, did they have their little kinky rendezvous? Like, did Sharon finally get her wish? Like, or was it an accident? Like, nobody knows. What we do know is Sharon was found dead, buried 2.5 feet below in a shallow grave 75 feet behind Bobby's trailer. So, okay. We're going to unpack another suitcase, and it's like a Russian doll. There's a suitcase inside a suitcase.
Great.
So we do know I just said that. We do know that I just said that. On October 20th, Brooklyn's birthday.
Ooh.
1996, her husband was like, where the fuck is my wife? She's supposed to be home.
Yeah.
So he started looking through her stuff, and he found a note from Sharon saying that she was not coming home. It said, "If my body is never retrieved, don't worry. Know that I'm at peace."
This is so bizarre.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah. He immediately took this to the cops and filed a missing persons report. And luckily, the police in Maryland had just created a computer crime unit. So they searched her computer. They obviously found all the Bobby Glass shit. And Victor was in shock. And they called North Carolina and they set out a stakeout. They started watching his trailer. They said he did everything normal. He went to work every day and did all the things a normal person would do. On the 25th of October, they got a search warrant while he was at work, and they found a ton of Sharon's shit inside, drugs, child porn, and a gun. When they went outside, they looked over and they saw the fresh grave 75 feet back from the back of his trailer, and they found her there. Her wrists and ankles were bound. A rope was still around her neck, and her neck and breasts had abrasions. They arrested Bobby at work. He was coming out of the bathroom and they got him. And they said he didn't even say, what is this about? He just put his hands behind his back and he was said to be acting cool, quote unquote. Huh. They interviewed Sherry, his ex-wife, and she told him all about his online tendencies and what she found. She did say that he was such a nice, gentle man and she couldn't see him doing that at all. And she said there's also a side to him that she didn't know. So, duh.
Yeah.
And while Bobby sat in jail, his sister and father-in-law were standing by him in the press saying that he was one of the nicest people they ever met. Like, the father-in-law was like, he's nicer to me than my kids are. So they didn't get it either. But the media went banana pants apeshit with this, of course.
How would they not?
Right. And Bobby said, you know, they were consensually banging for the 3 days and he pushed the limit. They pushed the limits the whole time. And then one session they were having, she said she pointed the rope around her neck and he said do it tighter, and so he said it was erotic asphyxiation, and he accidentally killed her and he doesn't know when it happened. And he was like, I didn't want to kill her, but she ended up dead. Now, based on their filthy chat logs, it was not an accident, and that's actually what she wanted.
Yeah.
Because that's why she traveled there. The law states that a person can't consent to their own demise. But in everything, Sharon is begging for it and went there, like I said. The police determined that it was not an accident because of their plan and said that there was premeditation. So they charged him with first-degree murder and held him without bail. Yeah. The media wouldn't stop because the internet was so new. And this was one of the, if not the first, murder case that involved emails. So the judge issued a gag order for everyone.
That's wild.
Working on the case in the courthouse. No one was supposed to talk about it, but there had been a shit ton of info leaked already.
That's wild.
They created a frenzy and they just ran with what they had. The media was like, well, you're not going to tell us stuff. We're just going to say what we want. And that's what they did. And so that caused big debates in the media. People were choosing sides, like the negative effects of the internet, kind of, you know, what they pin people against each other, kind of like they do now just for ratings and stuff. And they use it to get them to argue their points. They did argue to, like, for people to protect children and try to prevent murder by censorship. So, I mean, I guess a silver lining, but it caused a big ruckus. And the term, like, people started studying this, and psychologists did too. And the term Mardi Gras phenomenon was coined, which basically means that people can mask their true identity by hiding behind a keyboard. So that's where it came from, was this case.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. When they performed the autopsy, it was confirmed that she was strangled to death. Now, there was no indication of sexual torture or mutilation. So to this day, nobody knows. They don't. Bobby's attorney was like, See, look, if this was an accident and he's telling the truth, he didn't make any...
He still hid the body.
Yeah, but he said this is what I want to talk to you about, because his attorney said he's telling the truth because he didn't make preparations to dispose of the body either. So if he'd planned to actually do it, he said his point was, wouldn't he have actually made any preparations?
But which makes it, like, what is the concept that it's supposed to be better that he had planned to kill her, that she had begged him for it, versus accidentally killing her?
Yeah, I mean,
do you know what I mean?
Sucks. I feel like he's just trying to get him a lighter sentence.
I'm just saying, like, why? It's almost like, okay, one of them is on accident, which is actually worse. Yeah. The other one is she wanted it. Mm-hmm. And I'm never the person to be like, she wanted it, because that fucking sound. I felt bad just saying that, but like she'd requested to be tortured and killed
from her. Like she said
it. She said it. Mm-hmm. So I'm like,
it's like
almost saying it was an accident is almost worse.
Yeah.
Than no, she requested to be killed. And like there's a whole series of this where like one time I read a book. Mm-hmm. where this guy specialized in murdering people in a way that made it look like it was an accident so that their families would still get the life insurance policies. Oh. And he would put it was all, and so he would only be like word of mouth kind of person, but like he would kill you. Like if you were like, look, or it could be, I'm dying of cancer. Mm-hmm. I am in so much pain.
Yeah.
But if I kill myself, my family isn't going to get the money. So he would fuck with your brakes, and you would never know. Oh. And you would die in a car accident.
Damn.
That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So, and then he would put it in writing of like the people that and there's another story, I can't remember it, but now I'm so fucking going to dive into it because this is going to be a story that I have to do. But like where people who have that kink, who want to be tortured and killed, they go to someone who tortures and kills them. And then they try to put it in writing so that if the cops ever come to it, here is the person signing a piece of paper saying, I want to be tortured and killed.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like sexy Kevorkian, I guess.
And for them, it's not, I don't even think it's an erotic thing. Yeah. I think it's just something that they're obsessed with.
That's
crazy, right?
I had to spread this research out over like 5 days because it was so
heavy.
Much.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Bobby Glass sat in jail for 3 years because of lengthy delays. And on January 27th of 2000, so not too long ago.
Yeah, 23 years ago.
Yeah, I'm not mathing, it's early.
No, but it's funny because I'd be like, that's not long ago. Because to me, it's still 2013 or some shit.
Yeah, I was a freshman in high school. He pled guilty to voluntary manslaughter and possession of child pornography. He was charged with 6 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor for that child porn. Now, I want you to guess his sentence. I want you to guess.
7 years.
36 months to 53 months in prison. So 3 to 4.5 years for killing Sharon. For the child porn, he got 21 to 26 months.
Okay, the child porn is more concerning to me than the... I'm not torn up over this.
No, I know.
You know what I mean? Like, like I don't know...
No, I don't know. The child porn kind of pissed me off.
The child porn is way worse to me than like the fact that he murdered somebody who was like, let's do kinky shit.
The judge went easy on him because he had no criminal record before this. So he also got fucking time served credit. So at the end of this, he was in jail for 27 months.
That is pretty fucking
for killing somebody. But that asked for it.
Okay, she asked for it, but what if it really was an accident? That's a whole other thing. And he said he didn't know when, so he was like probably still banging her whenever she was dead.
Yeah.
Do you know? Like,
but he was on a necro site, so
yeah.
That's the murky part is where they met. Like, because it was...
That's the murky part?
This whole thing is dark as fuck.
This is the swamp water, sister.
Yeah. But that, I mean... Nobody knows. And like, okay, so while in prison, Bobby was a model prisoner. He didn't even try to appeal. He was like, no, I'll just sit in here and do. I mean, why would he? He got a slap on the wrist really for that.
Yeah, I wouldn't.
So he didn't try to appeal. He kept to himself. He worked on computers while he was in prison, and he just read books. They said he really didn't talk to anybody. Now, do you want to know what really happened?
I thought you said no one knew what really happened.
I do not know either, because in February of 2002, 2 weeks before Bobby's release date, they found him dead in his cell. He had a heart attack.
Oh.
2 weeks.
Fucking A. How old was he?
He was 51.
That's young to me for a heart attack.
So nobody will ever really know because it died with both of them. And that is this murder of Sharon Lopatka by Bobby Glass, aka Slow Hand.
I'm confused. I want answers. Why didn't he just say the truth?
He said it was an accident. And that's what he said the whole time.
You're right. He did say that. Mm-hmm. So, but they never, like, why didn't he just say, we talked about it online because it was hot, but whenever we got together, we agreed that we weren't going to do that. But Sharon went there with the intention still at the end of the day to possibly be killed.
She told her husband.
Yeah.
She left him a note and was like, she knew he'd go looking through her stuff whenever she was gone for longer. So she left him a note that said she was at peace.
That's so wild.
Right? Yeah. It's a lot of kinking at 7:52 a.m.
I love to wake up and talk kink murders. Golly.
I know. I was reading this story. I'm like, wait, what? Wait, what? And then it just kept getting...
I've dabbled into that stuff in books. So I'm not like, like I've never heard of it. It's bizarre.
I have never dove into this deep of a side in any story, like on the dirty side, like the necro stuff we got into, but this goes a little bit farther, even in my opinion.
Oh no, I had to literally talk about fucking a dead body. So no, this is not. Your ad about wanting to be force fed does not equal I like the slushy jelly that comes out of dead people and the smell of it. So I have no idea.
Becky's talking about
Neckies.
So if you guys want to hear that one and hear Brooklyn,
yeah, look for it.
Go back. That is one of our top episodes, so people do.
It's a fucked up story, but I think it was the intrigue of a woman being a necrophilia.
Yeah, this
versus men.
But I don't know. I've never read any stories like this. I read this and I'm like, what, to death though? Like, there's a line. I feel
there's something broken up. Something's not firing on the.
There's a lot of other stuff.
Or I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to. I don't know.
The doctor said that in most cases, it has to be linked to a child trauma, which neither one of them had bad upbringings. And no abuse was nothing, to what they could tell from.
Right.
And then, or a sexual encounter that was either bad or triggered something in them.
I bet.
So, but neither one of them had record of any of that. Like, I mean, she was a good Jewish girl, and then, from what we know, and then she met Victor and got married, and then went from, hey, let me sell you a book to put doilies on your coffee table to that. So, and I left out some of the ads because I was like, I'm not reading that. I could, yeah.
Well, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say.
What do you say after that?
I don't know. It's a weird one.
It was really weird.
Yeah.
To live up to your expectations.
Do you want to know the truth?
You're going to say no.
No.
I forgot that you read fucked up books, though, because this for me is really...
I bet it is, but I've just really read a lot of fucked up books. Man. So, like, I needed like a layer of that guy was killing 5 women, and they all had asked asked to be murdered.
Because that stories like this was far fetched for.
I get it.
Your girl.
I get it. I got to remember that shit too, because I'll talk to Travis about stuff, and he's like, "What the fuck are you like, what the fuck?" And I'm like, right.
I know. I couldn't tell Will, so I couldn't tell you. And then, so I just told Will anyway against his will. And he was not excited to hear.
No, Travis never wants to hear my stories.
Sometimes he humors it. He's a little true crimey now. I mean, after 12 years of being with me, I think I kind of rubbed off. So,
I got some marinating to do on Travis.
I guess so.
Well, y'all, thank you so much. We're gonna go play.
Yeah, let's go do it.
Let's go do it. We're gonna go play. Then we're gonna record on Halloween. I don't know what that might entail, but we have. I know that I tripped and fell onto a list of fucking true crime gold. Good. So I'll be delivering some of my best fucking work over the next 12 weeks. So get ready, people.
She's getting.
I have the next month ready.
I'm gonna have to catch up.
Yeah,
and apparently not do these stories that you read books on.
You can't. I mean, you can't guess that. I read books on anything we've ever done. I've never been blown away by it. Ever. I've never been shocked. A lot.
Yeah.
I finish like audiobooks probably 2 a week, and then I read actual books. Yeah. God. I literally read 2 this week on audiobooks. Man, so I can't say read listen to, but that's what I'm saying.
That's still reading to me.
I mean, me too. I know the fucking book.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I logged 11 hours in one book this week. You know what I mean? Like, that is how long it takes to read it.
Damn.
I just get to do it while doing dishes and cooking and stuff. But I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I'm like, okay, I need a drink. I need a mimosa. How about you go work out and I'll just sit there and tell you good job.
Oh, I'm fine with that.
Mimosas.
Beautiful.
I would.
I would too.
I have no shame. It's Planet Fitness. They would let us do it anyway.
If there was ever a gym that was
like, roll to float
do you want a
there?
pizza? It's a Monday. Do you want a pizza? They stopped doing the pizzas.
Wow.
The first Tuesday of every month or something. They stopped doing that. I think it was COVID.
Yeah.
And then they were like, you know what? We can save a lot of money by not doing this.
By not putting pizzas in there.
I
When
know.
I lived in Nashville, there was a girl that had a frappe thing from McDonald's that was literally like 44 ounces with whipped cream oozing out of it, sitting, and she weighed like 100 pounds. And this is when I had first started working out again.
Oh my God.
Wedding. And she was sitting on a bike texting with that huge ass, probably 2,000 calorie.
It was
coffee.
at least 600.
Right, yeah. And she was just sitting there and I'm dying just trying to breathe because it was, again, my first
time
journey
back, yeah.
And I look at her and I'm like, I want to throw you like a fucking lawn dart right now through the window
Yep.
because bitches
Because life isn't fair.
get stitches. Yeah.
Some people have those fast metabolisms, and then you can be like you and me, 5'2", with no metabolism.
5'4" and no metabolism.
I do not have a metabolism. I can tell you that.
I look at a
My body's
milkshake.
like automatic. My body has been in winter survival mode of 1862 forever. It's over here like, hold on to that shit. It's going to be a cold winter. I don't know if I'll get another fucking piece of meat. That's how my body works.
Well, I came out 10 pounds as a baby, so I'm still trying to work off my baby fat. I started out at a disadvantage. So that's why I look at a milkshake, my ass will shake for a week. Not my fault. It's nature.
It's what it is.
Let's go.
Let's do it.
All right.
We love
Rate,
you guys
review,
so
subscribe.
much.
We love y'all.
I
Thank
love
you very much. Yeah.
I love you. I love you. Okay. Love you guys. Bye.
I love you. Bye.
Theodore, can I pet that dog?